Good morning, all. Welcome to Coffee and Craps with John here from Pro Craps. Hey, Skill and Luck. Glad to see you first in the room there. Happy Veterans Day, everybody. I'm remiss in yesterday not saying happy birthday to my Marine friends. Sorry about that. I missed you all yesterday, but today, Veterans Day, so it's a day we can honor all of y'all. And I don't know if you all know this, but I'm a teacher in my day job. I teach at a coding school in Seattle. And a large part of our student body we're all adults, obviously. It's a school for adults. A large part of our student body are veterans. We take the GI Bill, and so I have the pleasure of instructing, probably half our student body or so are vets. So I get to interact with vets all the time, and I can't say enough how much I appreciate and respect all the veterans out there. Now, for those of you who don't know this, I'll give you a little bit of education. Vets don't like it when you say thank you for your service. So I will not say that. I will say that I respect you and I salute you. I grew up wanting to be in the military more than anything. All growing up, I wanted to be a helicopter pilot. That was my entire life mission as a teen. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit blind. And I broke my back wrestling, actually, my junior year in high school. So military service was just not in the cards. I couldn't fly because of my eyes, and once I broke my back, there was no getting in. So from afar, I've just been nothing but the deepest respect for all the folks in the military and what you represent, what you stand for, and what we're allowed to do shit like this. I'm doing a craps podcast every day. Like people in other countries don't get to even watch TV. So, I mean, nothing but respect. So anyway, that's my good morning to you all. Thanks again for coming here. We're going to continue today talking about what we've been talking about, which is this idea of mental toughness. And today I want to approach it from a simpler lens, I think, but one that I think is pretty important. And maybe it's only because, I'm sure it's only because I'm doing the YouTube thing now. When I go to casinos, I'm in a spot now where I, A, get recognized once in a while, but B, because there's other people in the YouTube space that are playing all the time. In fact, there's a group from Craps Nation that's down in Vegas right now as we speak that are playing. You have a chance to play with other people that you actually know. And that's kind of an interesting thing. When you play with people that, I'm going to lower the volume a little bit. When you play with folks that you know, you change the way you play, unfortunately, or fortunately. So from a mental toughness standpoint, I want to talk to you about the way that I approach, or way you could approach the game when you're coming in and playing with other folks. I want to make one quick change here. I think I'm using the wrong mic again. Let me go ahead and change my preferences. No, we're right. When you're playing with folks that you know, it changes the way that you approach the game. And I want it not to, unless you're going to change it in a way that makes good sense. So I think the things you have to ask yourself are this: why are you at the casino? Good morning, old number 7, and G-Dub's here too. Hi, Albert. So when you're playing with friends, there's a number of reasons why you might do that, right? One, are you going with friends to play, or are you going to play as a team? Now, there's two different mindsets there, of course. If you're playing with your friends, why are you there? And I think the strategy that you bring to the casino when you're playing with friends might need to change a little bit based on why you're at the casino with your friends. And I think this is an important piece to remember. And remember, Monday we talked about keeping it simple, right? Simple strategies sometimes are the best. Those of you who have played with me will know that besides being a maniac with my rack management, I typically play pretty simple strategies. I don't go with a bunch of different hedging and lots of bets all over the place unless the table's dictating that I do it. I try and keep it simple because I don't want to make a mistake. And so I think keeping things simple helps you stay constant. If you're with friends, the danger is that you keep things unsimple or complicated or crazy. Are you there with your friends to have a good time? And if you're there to have a good time, the mindset that you bring to the table has got to just be, let's have a good time, right? You're not bringing your super complex winning a bunch of money strategy. You're bringing the easiest thing you can bring, and you're sticking to it because you're going to be focused on the drinks, and you're focused on the high fives, and focused on your conversation. And whatever else is going on, you're not focused on your game. So I wouldn't bring my A game when I'm out there to have when we're out there on somebody's bachelor party or a birthday party, right? That's not the time to bring your A game. That's the time to go simple, 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 have some fun. And that's why I tell you all the time, practice like a crazy person so that you have this stuff on rote and you're almost like a machine, so you can just have fun and not worry about stuff when you're at the table. Are you there with friends, perhaps that you're teaching? And that's an interesting thing too, because how many times have you been at a casino where you got your friend or your sister or whatever, and hey, let's all go out, and I don't know how to play craps, can you show me? Okay, cool. When I'm showing somebody how to play craps, I'm not bringing out the most complex strategy I've got. I'm not going to try and show them place bets and hedging and everything else. I'm going to show them probably some basic pass line, don't pass line, maybe some field betting, maybe place the 6 and the 8. Not even pressing, just help them understand the game, not overcomplicate it. Because again, if you listen to my podcast a few weeks back, a big point that I was making was we should be doing more things to get folks into the game, not scare them away from the game. And I think if you bring a friend in and say, hey, by the way, I know you're used to playing $5 slots, but I need you to put $110 out here in this part and $5 here and $2 there, and you're going to just say a little Hail Mary with me here, and we don't get whacked by a 7, and you're going to scare them away, right? Keep it simple, make it fun, and do it. Jeff, you're saying my usual friend that I play with rarely talk. That's interesting. When you're playing with a good friend, and I think you might be talking about East Coast, right? When you all go, you know each other so well. You're playing as compatriots, not as like friends, right? You're playing as buds. It isn't like when my friend comes up from Phoenix for the weekend, he and I are going to go to the casino, and it's a party time, right? He's here to party for 3 days because I don't see him but once every 6 months. Different situation than going with the same person every single week, right? That makes sense. And Bird Dog is saying, don't teach pass line bets. You know why I teach pass line bets? And I'm going to do an episode coming up with my sister-in-law. I'm going to teach her how to play craps. And the reason why I teach the pass line bet is not because I think it's a winning bet, right? There's this whole, it's the best bet in the game. Not the best bet in the game. But the pass line and the don't pass line, to me, are the way to teach how the game works, right? And we'll do it as a team even. I'll put 5 or minimum bet on the don't pass, let her put minimum or whatever on the pass, and make it a game between us and say, let's see who can win. Because I think if you are on the pass line, you can follow what's happening. You can say, okay, when the puck's off, this bet's going to win here because. When the puck goes on, because they made a point, this bet wins now because. And it's just a good way to show a brand new person the mechanics of the game. And while you're only working on the pass line, the questions will come up. What are those things for? What's that for? You say, oh, well, if you do this, then you kind of grow them into the other stuff. But the pass line and don't pass line, because they follow the puck, they really speak well, I think, to the rules of the game. So if I'm doing a teaching session, or I hate to say teaching session, but if I'm bringing somebody to the casino playing craps for the first time, I always go pass line, don't pass line, and I do it as a competition. And I have like a side bet with them to see who can win more money, and just based on where the 7 lands. And it's just a fun way to kind of play it, be able to talk a lot without having to manage a bunch of money out there. I think that's the thing with somebody new. And even if you're, like I said, you're out there to party with somebody, you don't want to have a bunch of money at play. You want to just be doing your thing and having fun. And again, somebody asked me this once, and I said, I don't always go to the casino to win. And this is the point that I make here. I don't always go there to hammer the casino, right? If I'm going out, and a good example, tomorrow night is my wife's birthday. And you remember my story from our anniversary a few months back. Well, tomorrow's her anniversary, or her birthday. We're going to go play. And we're bringing some friends that are coming here from Colorado. And I'm not going to go and play like a crazy person. I'm not going to buy in for $1,000. I'm going to buy in for a few $100. We're going to play simple. I'll show you what I'm going to play. I'm going to play my easiest possible strategy today, just for that. And I'll hit you there in a minute, Bird Dog. We're going to play it as simple as humanly possible, because I want to just have the fun. My wife is going to play slots. And another story for you. My wife plays slots. She can play slots. She's like a camel. She can play slots for hours and hours and hours. Going to the casino with my wife with no hotel room to retire to means I have to be able to play for hours. So I bring strategies that I can grind with so that she can have fun, I can have fun, and we're there for the same amount of time, and it's all good. I don't always go there with this intention of taking them to the cleaners. There's definitely, I know I'm kind of a strange bird in that respect, but I definitely come with different strategies. And that's this mental toughness thing, right? I'm not going there to just rip a new one every single time. Sometimes I'm going there just to have fun and just talk and have a time to kind of BS and just do my thing and last. Now, Bird Dog has put out this comment here: teach people not to start with a contract bet. I agree with you. I would caveat the teaching of how to play craps using the pass line bet as this is not the best bet to make, but it's the easiest bet to make for the first timer. It's only, and it's easy, and it's table minimum. And I look at that like there's a contract bet in every other game, right? When you sit down at the blackjack table, you can't put $10 up, get a card, and then pull your bet back, right? No other game lets you pull your bets back like this one does. Roulette, same thing, unless you get it before they tell you bets are off. So it's not about that bet winning or losing or the positive or negative of them being contract bets. The reason why I teach that way is, again, it gives me a reason to explain what's happening. And if I make it no risk, where we're kind of side betting on, it's just, like I said, I think it makes it fun. And you can explain why people are yelling and screaming and why they're cursing and high-fiving. It just makes it simple. So anyway, I know it sounds weird to say that I don't go always to win, but sometimes I go to have fun. And craps can be a super fun game if you employ one of these grinds that we always talk about. And again, if you got to kill some hours before dinner, before your show starts, that's great. I have a weird situation because I said my wife, we talked about how lucky she is, right? She also plays forever. So I alluded to this a minute ago. If we go to the casino and like tomorrow, good example, we had dinner reservations at 8. We're going to go up there around 4 or 5. We have a hotel room. So because we have a hotel room, I will play a little bit more aggressively probably because I can win quick and stop playing and have a place to retire to. If we drive to the casino and we're coming back home afterwards, I know she's going to play on the slots for 4 hours or 5 hours, and I go to the craps table and I hammer it and I win, $500 in 15 minutes, and that's over my goal. What do I do for the next 4 hours? Right? So sometimes I think about those things and I'm like, let me just go up there and have some fun and play through it. The other thing about playing with friends is this: if you're winning, you are having fun, Waylon, but it's no fun to win quick and walk around for 4 hours either. So there's a balancing act that I play. And like I said, I use it as a tool. I'm not here to try and retire on this, right? I don't play at that level. I just love the game. So that's part of what I might switch over to Baccarat or something else while I'm taking those winnings. The other thing too, when you're playing with friends, and I think this is a part of the mental toughness too, and I made mention of this when we first started, is being careful at the table. So a trap you can fall into is too much chatter, keeping you off focus. And that's why I say practice, 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 because if you're solid in your strategy and you know what you're doing in your machine, you can chat all day long and have all the fun you want. Your strategy won't be affected by it. The worst part that happens though is wasting money by showing off. And I've seen this so many times where, you start throwing hardway bets out and you start, you see a horn, you bet a field and you're burning $5 here and you see a 2 and you throw $10 on the high low. That sounds cool and you're impressing your friends by all your knowledge, but you're bleeding money out there. And that's tough too. So I remind you, because I have fallen trapped to that too, just don't get sucked into the stupidness, right? Just play your thing. Waylon, no, I don't want to rather lose than win. Here's what I'm saying to you. I'm going to put that up there. I don't want to rather lose than win. I will grind sometimes, right? I'm happy to grind for a few hours, and I can win by grinding too, right? And again, it's purposeful travel. When I go to the casino, I have goals, right? The goal could be making a trip to go win, come out. Sometimes my goal, and I do this a lot, I'll go to the casinos locally here, the $5 casino that I've got, and I'll go with a few $100 just to try strategies out. Like I'll go up there not knowing if I'm going to win. I'll take matter of fact, I've taken your strategy up there and run the 4-10 parlay at the $5 table. And, if I win, great. If I don't win, great. I'm not trying anything. I'm trying it out. That's an okay thing to do, right? And you don't, like I said, I'm not going there every single time with that singular focus of winning. Sometimes I do go to test things out. Sometimes I go to burn sometimes. Sometimes I go to have fun with friends. Sometimes I go to win. and it's different. Every strategy that I play to win. Obviously, I'm not trying to lose, but hope that makes a little bit more sense when I say that. So anyway, back to the topic of with your friends, and again, be careful, right? Stay focused. And I have a note here, actually, which goes back to what Jeff said early. I have a note here to talk about playing with old friends versus playing with new friends. And that's a different thing too, right? So old friends, like you're talking about going out there with East Coast, right? You guys are old friends. You're playing all the time. You're both working on it, concentrating on your game. When you go with a new friend, a new craps friend, or like my buddy from Phoenix, it's different, right? He doesn't have a strategy to play. He's going to have to play what I tell him to play, or figure it out on his own. So there's a difference there on the way that you play with your old friends and your new friends. I think is totally different based on the situation. Hope that makes a little bit of sense there. So, and skill and luck, you're saying kind of what I was saying earlier. Once a beginner learns the pass line and they don't pass, then you show them the placing 6 and 8. And that's the way what will happen is they will ask you, right? You're going to say, you bet the pass line, I'll bet the don't pass line. Here's the way that this works, and when each bet wins based on the puck. And you can play that for a little bit, and they'll naturally ask the questions. What is everybody doing? Why are they betting up there? What does that mean? Oh, let me show you. And that's the perfect time to say, now let's introduce the 6 and the 8, because they roll more than the 7. You can explain a little bit of that, and they slowly get up and branch and branch and branch, and you can teach them the aspects of the game without blowing them away with all the complexity. And Waylon, I get you. You practice at home. I practice at home too. It's different, right? Practicing at home is different than the casino with real money, right? I will show you a strategy today. Excuse me. I'm going to play the border strategy today when I get up to the table. It's one of my simple playing with friends strategies. And I like it. However, playing this at home, and you'll see why I say this. When I play this at home, it's essentially a pass line or a don't pass bet with max odds and a come bet with max odds, right? It's a lot of money potentially at risk. Here at home table, it's all good. I can grab 13 new chips every single time I feel like it and just play it out. At a casino, that's $400 every time I go out. Every time I'm putting bets out there. So practicing at the casino with live rollers that aren't you on a surface that's not under your control like mine is here, I think it tells a different story. And your willingness to put what it takes to make those big bets out there with actual money is different. So that's why I say I'll go to the casino and see how a strategy reacts to multiple shooter types with multiple directions on the table, and how does it hold up under fire. So I totally do that. I will go up and burn a few $100 to test it out live. And I found that things that I think work well at home, at the live casinos, there's just a difference there when it's real money, number one, and other shooters besides me. To me, it's different. And like I said, you know me, right? I'm a maniac with my practice, and I want to make sure that when I go to the house, I'm going there with some knowledge, and the knowledge of how it feels and how it plays and everything else. So that's what I do. I approach things a lot differently than most people do, but I think that's why I've sustained for so long. I played this game for, gosh, going on, what am I, 53? So 26 years or so I've been playing this. Throughout that time, and I was telling Ken this yesterday, the lesson, he's like, you're on point all week. This is great stuff. And I'm like, yeah, the lessons that I'm teaching this week of keeping it simple, practicing hard, being disciplined in your rack, knowing how to play grinder versus go for it strategies. These are lessons that you learn only after multiple ass kickings. And that's the best way to say it. I've had my ass kicked so many times at a casino because of unpreparedness, because of showing off, because of bleeding money, because of not knowing when to grind, when to go, and all these kind of things. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I speak the way I speak to you, because I've had my ass kicked so many times. I'm trying to relay some of the, hey, here's things to watch out for. And here's the mental, like the scabs that I've grown in my brain to get past some of these things. And that's the reason why I play what I play. I won't show you a strategy here on my home table that I've not played at a casino at the level that I'm showing you. I just won't do it, right? When I was doing the 3-point, some of you are newer to the channel. I was doing this challenge a while back. It was called the 3-chip challenge, 3-unit challenge. I may go back to that at some day. those days, what I was doing was saying, hey, how can I take 15 chips of any denomination and win 3? Right? I was trying to make this point of discipline in money management. And I was playing that strategy with $500 chips once, right? I did it one time at a casino with that at that level. It scares the bejesus out of you to bring that kind of money and bet with purple chips. But I've done it. I don't recommend doing it. So when I'm showing you things here, it's things that I've actually play tested at a casino and have won with at the levels I'm showing you. And remember that. So Waylon, when I go to the casino to practice strategies like yours or others, or a lot of Brian's stuff I bring to the casinos and practice, and I can do it at that $5 table at almost no risk. It's good to see him live. And I think that's where I find, and when I said on Monday about keeping it simple, you know, again, here at home on the channel, you can go as complex as you want. You can have 75 bets going and doing all the things. But at the casino, it's a whole different ballgame, especially when you have bets that are confusing to the dealers, when the money amounts are weird, when you're moving this bet to that bet, like taking a lay bet down, making it a place bet for less, and there's a lot of moving parts. It's very difficult to express that to the dealers correctly. It kind of ticks them off and it makes it a mess. And it makes me want to pull back and simplify. So when I try something complicated at a casino and it doesn't work well in terms of the fluidity of it, that's when I cut it out of my repertoire and I go back to kind of more normal, easier to understand or execute kind of bets. So that's what I typically do. Oh, George, I didn't see you come in. George, hello, goodbye. I'm glad that you're here. Anyway, yeah, Waylon, lay the 4 and 10. So this is a strategy that I'm going to start working through, actually, the lay bets. Andrew did a really good series on this. He called it the lay check, which was, I think, a classically great name for this thing. This is a great strategy. Laying the 4. He does the 4 or 10, not the 4 and 10, and he's got a really cool little progression that works for it. Again, I have not casino tested that one yet, so I will bring that one out there and then I'll show it to you here. I probably never told you that everything I show you here, I've either played at a casino or I played it here a few times, then went out and then I bring it back, then I show it to you live. I won't show you things that I don't actually believe in. So anyway, let's go ahead and hit the table here. I'm going to show you a couple of things. Oh, before I do, we should talk about teams again. I think teams are a thing that I have experienced once or twice, but not on the regular. And when you get into a situation where, and I know that Jeff, oh, by the way, Jeff, I want to call this out because Jeff, if you haven't listened to Jeff's show yet, everybody needs to go to Mid-Atlantic Craps. And Jeff did his show, I think it was Monday or Sunday, about what's coming up on his channel. One of the things that Jeff highlighted was his plan next year to have a subscriber of his go to the casino and play with him. Super cool, right? When that happens, and I have met a few subscribers at various places, it's interesting and fun to do that, right? There's pressure there though, Jeff, I'm warning you now. Pressure on both of you. There's this, you've all heard of, sorry guys, performance anxiety, right? You'll have that, right? You gotta shoot. You gotta play well when you're with people, right, that you're meeting for the first time. It's hard to get out there. And I mean, I'm not sure if Michael's here or not. Michael Albertson, he and I played in Vegas, and we were at the table, and the dice came to me, and Mike said, "Okay, this is why I came. This is why we're here." And I'm like, "Shit, man, nothing like laying the pressure on me to have a great roll here." There is that pressure to shoot well, perform well, bet perfectly, and do the thing. So you got to be careful about that for sure. You've got to be like I said, practiced, and you do what you do and make sure that you're on point. If you're playing with a team and you're pooling your money, totally different, right? Then you're there on a business trip with your bud. You've got to make sure that you and your team or your teammates know your combined strategies, your approaches to the game, who shoots what way, and all that kind of stuff. So again, being dialed in and focused on that stuff is super, super, super important. So Duracell, there you go. Now I feel like it's a show, right? I don't feel like we've done a live show until Duracell comes in and says hit the like button. Dude, I love that you do that every day. And yeah, hit the like button. I appreciate it. I got actually a ton of of really good emails and comments the other day. Bye, East Coast. Thanks for coming in. And Jeff says it's so good. It's so heartwarming to get comments and likes and you all coming live. It's like we tell our kids, like my daughter's 16, and we're always get off TikTok, get off of your social media, and it's all about that dopamine rush that for the kids, and it takes them off task for school. That shit's real. It's a rush. It's a dopamine rush, and Jeff will tell you this. So will Bird Dog and G-Dub and the other guys that are here that have channels. It's a rush to be on these shows and do this every day, and it's not easy to get up every day at 7:30 and talk to you all for an hour, kind of off the cuff every day. So I appreciate the likes. I appreciate that you come. I appreciate every single bit of it. Zoff, how you doing? Good morning. I do appreciate all of it. So know that your support is, I can't even say how much appreciated and respected it is. So, all right, let's go to the table. Let's go back there and play a little bit of craps. I'm going to show you this strategy today, and this is a super simple one. It's one that I would actually play with a new person. I think it's one of the easier ones. I did this, boy, this is like going back to my first couple of episodes that we ever did on this show. And if you want to wind yourselves back, you can take a look at the strategy that I named the border strategy. It's the Kamala Harris border strategy. And I called it that, and you'll see why in the video. But this one was after that. And what I did here, this is called, again, my political references I think are funny. You may not. This one's called the hunting with Dick Cheney strategy. And if you all remember the story of Dick Cheney shooting his buddy in the woods hunting, this one I named it that because it's basically hunting odds. And what I do here with this strategy is, let's see, no thanks, is I'm hunting down good numbers to lay odds on. So what I do here is, let's see if I got to get to the right screen on my phone so I can log the rolls for y'all. What I do here is I basically make a don't pass bet, and I'll take out, this is my winnings from practice session, by the way. I over doubled my bankroll. We're going to go ahead and take a don't pass bet. First, we're going to start with a don't. I will not hedge it, although I certainly could hedge it. There's no reason why you shouldn't. But we'll do 13 units per shooter. That's what it takes to get through this strategy. 13 units per shooter. We do a don't pass bet to start with. And the don't pass bet, you could hedge it for, a couple of bucks on the yo if you wanted to. You could hop the skinnies for $6, but my feelings on hedging the don't pass or any bet really is you reduce that bet. And I want you to remember that, right? When you talk about craps math, think about this. If I were to hedge the $25 with a $2 yo, and if I were to hedge the $25 with let's say a $6 hop on the reds, right? Which would get us back again, enough to cover the bet at least, right? You're going to win $30 for one of these, but you're going to lose the 4, you win $26, right? If I do that and we get a point number, we would have lost $8, right? Which makes this bet only worth how much? $17 or $18 or $16, right? When you hedge, you reduce the weight of that bet. I'll take the risk, right? This is a place where I don't play as safely as I could. I know that Ken and others will tell you that you got to hedge those bets to get them out. I typically don't until I get past this level. When I'm at 50 or 75 or $100 in the don't, I might do a little bit of hedges, but I necessarily don't. So this strategy, we're hunting a box number that's favorable. And I'll show you how I do this. I'm just going to roll some random stuff here. We'll get a 9. There's our 9. So the point is going to become 9. And what I'll do here is I've got enough money here that I can lay max odds and also take max odds, right? On the 4 and 10, I will lay maximum odds when I'm on the don't. On the 5 and 9, I'll lay double odds. The 6 and 8, I'll lay single odds. So on the 5 and 9, double odds, we'll go ahead and throw out, in this case, $75. Put it over here, 75 to win 50, okay? And then my next bet is going to be a comeback. And again, I had enough money here to go 6x or go with 6. But I again, cherry picking the points, I don't necessarily do that. So right now, our 7 is a great play for us right now. We're going to have a good time on a 7. On the 9, we're going to get crushed. anything else, we just get to the point. And again, if I'm teaching somebody to play, I might play this, and it shows to me both sides of the strategy. There's aces, which is a bummer. I should probably log in these rolls in here. So let's get these in. The first roll was a 9. The second roll was aces. There we go. Let's lose. Did I already? I think I. Shit. Did I take it? I forgot. I think I didn't take it. Let's go. Aces again. Seriously. One more. We go log that aces in, and we have a 6 on that next roll. It's 2 aces back to back. It really never happens, does it? Aces. This will be a 6. Hopefully you're seeing the numbers change on the screen there. So this comeback's going to move to the 6, and 6 is favorable, right? So I'll take 3, 4, 5 times odds on the 6. And right now my rack is empty. Okay, so I've got all my units essentially are at play. The one that I lost, obviously, the 2 I lost would have been here. I would have had enough to have gone 6 units on that don't. And now I'm just playing, right? This is a simple little, no thought involved strategy. I'm not even thinking at all. We can be playing, we can be talking, we can be doing our thing here, and just sort of be crushing souls here. So that's great, right? We have a 6, which pays great, right? We're going to get paid on our flat bet there, right? And we're going to get paid 6 to 5 on our lay bets up here, right? 5 units, pay 6, and all that comes back to the rack, nice and happy. And we wait out the 7. Either wait the 7 out, or I can go back to the come and do this one more time. Now here's a situation where somebody has said to me, when is the point when you pull back a don't pass bet? I think it was PJ Strong. He's always on me about pulling the don'ts down. Let's take a look at where we are real quick. I'm just going to take a quick hiatus here and count up where we are. There's 5 units. There's 5 units. Here's 3 units. That's what I started with. That's my initial bankroll. And what I've got in the rack, even though I lost those 2 units on the come bets, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. I'm already up over $100. I'm up 5 units out of a 13 unit starting point. Now, if those were reds or blacks or purples, it doesn't matter. Count the number of things that I've won. I'm up 5, which is really pretty fantastic in a single roll. Now, if I can pop a 7 here and double this stuff up, we've made goal in 1 shooter and you're going home. I'm going to leave these bets out, although I definitely could and very likely would pull the odds down at this point. There's no need to have that money at risk when I've already shown a profit that's over my initial goal. There's the 7. That's a 5-2-7. So we get paid 1 on the flat and 2 to 3 on the odds. Let's take a look at where we landed. My profit in this session right now is 200 even. $200 in 1 shooter, go home. Right, there's your, if I'm doing this the John way, I'm out, right? That's a great strategy when it works out perfectly like that. That's actually a pretty good run right there. That happens more often than you think, actually. You'll oftentimes hit that repeater and then get the hell out. So that worked out pretty good. Let's do it again, knowing that on any given Thursday at the casino, I'm out. Okay, that's actually almost an 80% win right there. Started with 13 units, ended up with 8. That's not bad. That's a pretty good day at the office right there, right? Anyway, let's go ahead and do it again. We'll do one more run of that just to see if we can make it pop twice. But again, normal circumstance, I'm out of Dodge with a profit like that. And this is, again, a simple little strategy. There's a 7 that would have taken our don't pass bet. A simple little strategy here that when I'm teaching somebody how to play works well. And if I'm there just to kind of, put in some time, I can do this all day long. There's a 6. And again, I need to get some reds here for that. So on a 6 or an 8, I'll do this. I'll bridge them. 1x odds, no more than that. Then our come bet's going to come. I need to log those rolls, by the way. I forgot to log them. That's going to be a 6. Then we had 2 7s in a row. And then we had the 8. Okay. Now we're on the aces. Boy, the aces are killing me in here today. That's interesting. Let's get a comeback set. It goes to the 6, which is kind of a bummer. It's going to go there. We're going to lose in here. I'm going to reset the don't. And here I'm at huge risk right now, right? I'm going to leave the odds off of this until the next point gets established. But right now we're at risk for losing both of those things on the, let's see, that should have been a 6, not an 8. My apologies. That's a 6. That's a 6. Now we're coming back out. All right, new point's going to be an 8. And again, I'll do the same thing. I'll take my single odds down here because I'm a little bit worried about that. Placing the 6, though, we'll take our 5x odds on that comeback set. So here we are. We're set up to where this time it wasn't favorable, right? This is not what you really want to see on the 8, but you're enough in the driver's seat that I would take single odds or lay single odds on that. On the 6, that is a pretty good bet, and I'll do max odds there. And hopefully we can pop the 6 out again before we pop out the 7. There's the 7. That's a bummer. All right, that time it did not work out. I need to mark those up too, by the way. I keep forgetting. Jeff, I'm not as skilled at you yet as putting in these numbers as I roll them. There's a 10. There was the 7. Keeping the roll tracker kind of accurate and current. So the 7 pays us 2 units. We do lose all of that on the 6. That was again, you're going all in. This is kind of a, roll it out there with everything you got kind of a strategy, which can sometimes obviously work, sometimes obviously does not work. So again, the adjustment that you make, assume we didn't have the profit. Let's put the profit back in the bank. And you're playing this strategy, okay? It does take 13 units to get out per shooter. So whatever your bet level is, if it's reds or if it's greens or whatever, you need 13 units per shooter. This shooter burned us for a little bit. I've only got 5 units left. I'm going to play the strategy through with the 5 units that I have here and try and build back up. Normally, I would have 3 or 4 sets of 13 chips. And as I, burn a shooter, pull the next 13 out, I'm going to show you how I grind through this, and we'll see if we can't make this thing make some money coming through. All right, new point's going to be a 9. And again, the 9. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to bypass the odds first and see what come number we get. And I'm going to take the more favorable of the 2 with these 3 units and those reds. I'm going to choose the more favorable side here. So let's see if we can't get this come bet to be set somewhere. And then I'll make that call. So here's a case where I'm going to be adjusting kind of on the fly. The strategy does call for going with laying odds first. But again, with a lower level here, I'm going to make an educated guess. And we'll see what happens. And there it is. That goes to the 8. Okay, so we have a choice. We have a decent chance on the 8. I think what I might do here is go double odds on the 8, 50 to win 60. And we'll go, I can do 40, a lay of 40 on the 9. And that 40 will win us, well, I want to do that. I may just go 30 to win 20 down here. We'll do that. We'll go 30 to win 20 down here. And we'll do 50 to win 60 up top. And we'll just let these 2 bets resolve, and we'll call it a session here because it's getting close to 9. There's the 7. Ill-timed, because we'll lose our 75, but we're going to get paid 25 and 20 down here. So that'll work. Bleeding a little bit here, but that's all right. It happens, right? If you've got yourself set up in the rack to where there's a quarter, by the way. Still have 4 units to play with. I could run this one more time. What time is it? Do we have time to run it one more time? We'll do one more quick run with it. Let's go ahead and play with the little bit that we have here. It's going to be a 7. Jeff, I do have a stream deck. Actually, I'll tell you in a minute how my setup is here. Let me get another point established. We'll roll this out here. That'll be a point of 8, which again, we don't love, but we'll bridge it anyway. I'll put my next betting the come. It goes to a 10, which is probably the least favorable of everything. We can put 30 back there on that. Both bets are the worst, right? You don't want an 8 on the don't, you don't want a 10 on the come. Let's log those in. I forgot it again. 8, 10, and that was a 9. There we go. Give me a 10. Nope. It's going to be a 7 out. It's all right. That'll pay 2 down here. We'll lose that up there. And we're actually in the same spot we just were. We basically had the same 4 greens that we started with. We just lost essentially a red. Not a big deal on that. So let me actually turn the light off and call it there. I want to sit back and talk to you a little bit. Mark that as a 7. I'll come back to the computer here. There's me. All right. So Jeff, I see I have a Stream Deck. My phone actually has Stream Deck on it. So I use the phone Stream Deck to switch my scenes when I'm over there. But I also use my phone to log the numbers. So it's like I got to go back and forth, and I forget. I'm not used to doing the roll tracker while I'm rolling live. So it does take a minute. I like to see my strategies move fast when I'm practicing. So I don't typically take the time to log the rolls like you do. I got to get better at that for sure. So Rick saying why you could have pulled the odds off the don't and totally could have done that, right? And again, this strategy is about as simple as it gets, right? It's don't pass with odds, come bet with odds, and to see what happens. You've got 13 units to play with. You can put the odds wherever you think they're most favorable. I don't need to put odds on the 6 or 8 on the don't. I don't need to, put max odds up on the 4 or 10 in the come. So I'll definitely try and kind of move them around where I think that they're mathematically the most sound. It's a super simple way to play. When I'm out there and this weekend when I go with my friends that are from Colorado, that's for Kat's birthday. That's exactly how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to sit there at the table and play this strategy with them. As you can see, if it rolls along, right, you can win pretty good money if the numbers are favorable to you, right? If you get in good rolls, it's fine. And again, what I'm going to be doing at the table is talking a lot, right? We're going to be kind of explaining things and having fun, and the wives are going to come over. We're going to be, hugging and doing all this stuff. I don't want to be thinking about, like Waylon's saying, playing along the ladder, right? If I'm playing the ladder, I got to think a little bit, right? I'm going to have to track where I am in the ladder. I got to track where I'm coming down. There's thought process there. I got to be dialed into that when I'm playing. If I'm working the free drinks and we're having a good time, I can't dial in. And that's why I tell you all the time, and Jacob at Wage Me This is the king of this, right? Have your back pocket strategies. He calls it his toolbox. I'm not sure. I got to give it a cool name, I guess, for the way that I play. I have things that I play, like this simple little strategy here that I pull out for certain circumstances. And I think that's part of this mental toughness thing, is like playing with purpose. And every session's different, and what you're going for is different, and what your goals are different, and the way that you want to play totally different every single time. So I think it's a definitely, I want you to think about it. I don't want you to always go to the casino with this mindset of I got to just lock into my, my $5,000 bankroll and 160 across and all the stuff, right? You don't always have to lay the back wall and bring it up front. You don't always have to do, like, when I watch DGE, right? I love Drunk Guy Explains. Charlie's great. The guy's a thinker, right? He's like skill and luck, right? He's one of these brains that you're going, God, how do you even think of that stuff? Like, I have such respect for that. But when you do that, when you go to the casino with $5,000 and you're playing $12 sixes and eights and you're turning them off every 3 rolls and you're waiting for a 7 and you go on here and you're driving the dealers absolutely bonkers with that kind of stuff, right? And it's easy to do that at home. It's not easy to do that at a casino because there's a lot of moving parts to it. I don't like moving parts when I'm having fun, and that's it. So no, Waylon, I think this is great, and I think that's cool. And Jeff and I were talking on the phone about this a while back, and you forget that you all roll and are betting with us as we do our rolls. I don't do enough rolling to make it make sense. I think this is kind of a short roll today. Let's look at the summary. I can look at the summary here. for sure. So we lost audio. Fuck. You lost audio? Is it not there? I'm seeing that I'm getting, it's showing that it's spiking for me. So has everybody lost audio? I just wrote you all a note. Have you all lost audio? I wonder if it's the feed and not my microphone. Let me try and switch mics maybe, huh? Oh, it's back. Okay, cool. All right, sorry about the weirdness there. Hey, it's live TV. This is what happens on live TV. We are streaming live, obviously, so over Wi-Fi, which is, think about the miracle of that, right? I'm literally, oh, that's what happened, Jeff. Okay, I know what it is. So my streaming software, when I switch to a scene, sometimes, and Jeff, you'll know what I'm talking about, when I switch to different scenes, it mutes the mic automatically because it thinks there's a movie playing behind. I got to change that setting. It thinks that there's a video playing, so it mutes the microphone. That makes total sense. Sorry about the confusion there. Anyway, so the stat screen showed my summary of that was a lot of sevens. More sevens than we should have, more nines than we should have. Definitely an interesting roll today, but not long enough. I think the rolls weren't long enough to get any kind of real stats. I just wanted to show you that I have the stats, and maybe on some of these longer rolls we'll do it. When we do the Craps Telethon, I'm rolling for 24 hours straight. I'm going to roll track everything over the whole 24 hours. So I won't be rolling craps for 24 straight hours, but in periods where I am rolling, I'm going to keep the stats going the entire time. So we'll get a good look at what 24 hours of rolls look like. That'll make much better stats for sure. I'm going to put this up here because I think it's interesting. I want to make sure I'm saying your name right, but it's Jalanpan. You want to make a craps team, but considering you guys are all over the place, it's hard. It is hard. And here's the way that you do it. If you want to do this, you do meetups. You have planned events, and if you can play with each other online. Now, I'm going to give Jeremy a big pump here, right? I want you to go to, if you get a chance, go to ColorUp, colorup.club. It's the ColorUp YouTube channel. Jeremy has a Discord service where you can jump in there, and it's $5 a month or something. You can jump in there and you can play fantasy craps with everybody. There's every day there's fantasy craps. Folks are got their cameras turned on. You're playing with, just like we do here on our channel, but 4 people at once, and you're just playing strategies live. You'll get to meet people, see their strategies, and when you become friends, as I've become friends with dozens and dozens of people over there, hey, I'm going to Biloxi, or I'm going to or I'm going here, and you'll find that you'll have these ad hoc kind of meetups. You already know them, you've seen their faces, you've heard their voices, you've seen them play, and you can arrange times to go, and it won't be a surprise. When you get there, you can actually use fantasy craps to practice team play. 4 of us combine the bankroll. Let's play these strategies together. Let's see how we did. And you can practice it in fantasy and then head off and go to the casino for real and say, hey, we're going to be in Vegas for 3 days and we're going to go and do this thing. You can do that. It doesn't mean that you have to be at home in the same city to practice and be a team. You can go to the casinos once every quarter as a group of 4 people and do your thing. So it's 100% a thing that you can do. Just fair warning, don't go out there and bet like maniacs, work into the system. But once you have that, it works. Also here, I'm still waiting until I explore the possible dice sets and experiment the trials. Lots to do with dice setting. I will give you, and I showed you a preview yesterday. I still haven't gotten approval back to post that dice setting video, but I'm slowly coming in. My opinion's becoming more firm now on dice control. So the more I watch, the more I practice, the more I try things, I'm less convinced that the set has anything to do with it at all. When I see the slow motion I've seen, myself and others, the set has almost nothing to do. George will argue with me. I'm sure GW will argue with me as well. I don't believe the sets do a thing. When you see the car wreck that is the impact on the back wall and the table, the set would have changed the result, but not in a way that you can predict it would have changed the result. So I'm focusing more and more and more on mechanics and energy than anything else. And the set be damned, whatever the dice come to me in, I'm just going to grab them and mechanically make a perfect controlled throw, but I'm not going to worry about the sets. I'm finding more and more personally that I don't see a difference. And especially when you look at slow motion, I'm not seeing it. So hopefully people that I talk to, George included, will help right the ship there. But at this point, John Pond, I'm just not seeing where the sets are mattering. I know that Waylon's going to write back and say, you're crazy. They totally matter. And skill and luck, same thing. But personally, I'm just not feeling it right now. I've done too much digging, too much looking. I filmed probably 100 slow motion shots. Some of them I thought were perfect. And it's a disaster unless you can control the action. And I think that G-Dub, I'm so glad you're here, because I think your throw, along with the both of them, right? The twister, the horizontal, the chopper, the Apache, whatever you want to call it, that throw and your forward spin, the four spin toss, are the two throws that I think control the action more than anything. And I think that's where I'm spending like all my time right now, is working on forward spin and horizontal spin and even the backhand toss, but focusing my energies on the energy and action, not so much the set. Wait until I haven't practiced enough. And I do change my throw because where I'm at, right? And we've had this talk before, I think. When I'm on the right side of the table, because of my shoulder, I can't really turn my arm and do, that actually hurts a little bit. I can't turn my arm and throw this way. I've got to throw this way. So I've developed the underhanded throw from the right side of the table, because sometimes it's where you're stuck, to get that action. The backhand toss or the chopper toss from the left side works well. From the back wall, I can do the forward underhand toss. It's all about the energy. You're saying the set's where it's at. I haven't practiced enough. Like I said, when you watch the dice land, the set, I mean, they're spinning sideways, forwards, and on the points the whole way through the air on 99% of the shots. So I don't know that the sets, oh, Brian, you're amazing throw. Dude, I laughed so hard when I saw that video last night. Are you actually throwing that way now? Is that like an actual thing? I could never, my arm, I would be in the hospital if I try to throw that backhand thing that you did. That's fantastic. No, I'm dialed in on energy. Like I said, I can't see where the sets make a difference. It's one of those weird things where when I'm throwing with a certain set, I get in pockets of numbers. When I change a set, I get a different pocket of numbers. Sure, I can't predict any of it. I can predict how hard I throw the dice. I can predict where on the diamonds they hit. And I can predict how much roll I get. That's the entirety of my focus right now is that. So yeah, that's it. Excuse me. I don't know why this is, right? And I just said this. I don't know why dice sets produce more of certain numbers. I don't know why it works. But again, I'm not going to focus myself on worrying about what set works or doesn't work. I'm focusing on energy and mechanics. I think that's the number one thing. And you're right here, Duracell. This is a great comment. Heavy from Axis Powercraft suggests a regression at 3 or 4 hits. This is the way you do it, right? And what I've been working on the last few days for my own go-to is, I've always loved some of Brian's work, right? And to me, when I watched you guys all, I'm sorry, I'm going along today. When you all have seen Bone Thrower, right? You can raise your hand. Give me a like if you've seen Bone Thrower. Bone Thrower does a lot of videos where he's like about all-in betting. So take all your winnings and reinvest them. And what Bone Thrower does is just put the money all over. He form the knot, whatever. He puts them all over the place. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Brian introduced the Pineapple Press, which is basically all-in betting, but with a pattern. Bet from the inside, like press the 6 and 8, press the 5 and 9, press the 4 and 10, fourth hit, get out of Dodge, right? And that's exactly what you're saying here. I'll put your comment back up again from Heavy, which is take 3 to 4 hits and get out, right? 3 or 4 hits and get out. Brian's Pineapple Press is 4 hits and get the hell out. 100% the way to play this game. And if you do it from the don't, even better, because you can pull it all down and guarantee profit. If you go from the back wall lay with a big don't and then come out with an across bet, 4 hits and out, and pull it all down after 4, you are 100%, not 100%, you're 99% where I want you to be. So it works very, very well. Anyway, Waylon, I'll leave this session here with this. A good strategy with the dice that hit your numbers more often is how you make money. Yeah, I will tell you this. You make money with math, and you make money with luck too, right? The dice, as Brian would say, the dice have to be nice. The dice got to play well with you while you're out there. So if your strategy matches the dice, the first roll I did today, perfect, right? We had max bets here. We had max odds on the lay, max odds on the point, hit the 7, and we're out. Dice played perfect. The last 2 shooters, the dice didn't play perfect. It was a great strategy. Still didn't work, right? You got to make the money shot. I think that's the way to end it here. So I'm going to go back to work here. I appreciate, again, everybody for coming today. Love it. I love doing this show every day. I hope you guys are getting value out of me yammering here for an hour every morning. Just dig doing this. So you're already all subscribed. I appreciate that. But tell your friends, get the word out there. And again, get geared up, save the date. I'm locking it in. We're going to do, I think, the fundraiser, I think, is going to be on Thanksgiving weekend. So I'm looking at Saturday, the 27th, I think it is. Yep, at 6 p.m. through Sunday, the 28th at 6 p.m. That's the 24 hours. I think that's where it's going to be. I'm locking in. I got to get with some other of the content providers that I'm talking to see if we can all agree on those dates. But I think that makes the most sense. Everybody's going to be in money spending mode after Thanksgiving. It's the perfect time to ramp this fundraiser up. So with that said, I will see you tomorrow morning, hopefully with a rollout of Brian's latest strategy. We're going to go ahead and see how that works from here. Brian, I know you ran it with Mrs. Money Shot. You're going to get to run it with Pro Craps tomorrow. So tune in at 8:15 tomorrow. I'll see you all then. Thanks again for watching. And again, for all the military, all the vets out there, salute you, appreciate you. And if you see a vet, buy them a coffee, buy their lunch, let them know how much what they have done means to you. God bless everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.